Thanks for joining me. So I am actually making a series of videos on how you can grow your Instagram account organically. Organically meaning that we aren't buying followers or things like that, using methods that Instagram might look negatively upon, but we're actually just growing it naturally by using different strategies. So I really want to help you grow your account and hopefully grow my account at the same time, and we can grow our accounts together. So at the time of this video, I'm a little over 2,900 followers, so we're getting very close to 3,000. So that'll be a big milestone for me. So I'm excited to get to 3,000. And some weeks things go a little faster, some go a little slower. Sometimes you lose a lot of followers in one day, sometimes you gain more than you lose. So it just kind of depends. Every day is going to be a little different, so don't get discouraged in the journey as we try to build our following. There's always going to be days, like I said, where you might lose more than you gain, but then the next day could be a great day and you're going to actually gain more than you lose. So just don't give up, and let's just keep working towards it so we can gain followers together. The topic I want to focus on today is hashtags. So first question is, should you use hashtags? And I'm going to say a big resounding yes, you should definitely use hashtags. It's a great way for people to find your account. So of course you're already going to have some followers that will like your content, interact with you. But if you want to gain new followers, hashtags obviously is a great way to do that because it is a way to reach out to people that didn't know you existed before. A lot of people follow hashtags, so if they're following the hashtag and you use it, then they are, might click on your post. So it's just a great way, like I said, to reach new people, new accounts that you weren't already interacting with. How many hashtags can you use on a post? And on a regular post in your feed, you can use 30 total hashtags. The next question would be, where should you put them? Would you put them right in your caption of your video or your post, or should you put them in your comments? So I don't think, as far as I understand, I don't think there is a difference. I don't think Instagram favors one or the other. So I would say just do whatever you prefer. Personally, I always put my hashtags, at least up until this point. I've been thinking about changing it, but up until this point, I always put my hashtags in my caption. So when I post a picture, I always put my hashtags under the caption that I write. And what I do is I put some spaces with some like asterisks. So as you can see, I'll put like my caption, and then I'll put like maybe like 3 on different lines, asterisks, and then after the asterisks, I will put my hashtags. And that kind of just breaks it up a little so that you don't have your hashtags right mixed in with your caption, so people don't get distracted. You want them to really read your caption. If you ask a question or anything like that, call to action in your caption, you don't want that to get hidden by the hashtag. So that's the way I have been doing it up to this point. Said I'm gonna possibly try putting some in the comments at some point. A lot of people prefer to put in the comments because they think it looks nicer to actually put your hashtags in like your first comment, so people make their post, write their caption, post their picture, their video, and then right away they go into their comment, and usually it'll be the first comment, and they put their hashtags there. And you can even split it up into more than one comment. So I don't think there's any rules, and as far as I know, and I don't think anyone else knows, I think Instagram doesn't favor one way or the other. So no matter where you put them though, you still only get 30. So you can't, don't think you can put some in your caption and then put some in your comments and do more than 30, because Instagram knows that you can only have 30 on a total post, whether they're in your comments or in your caption itself. So you won't be able to get more in than 30. What I do is now, should you use 30? That's the next question. My tip would be to use close to 30. Why not? They give you up to 30. You're going to potentially reach more people the more you use. So I'd say I usually use maybe like between like 25 and 28, 29. I always leave one open, and we could talk more about this later, but for say like if a brand sees, some of the brands like say Kohl's or Target sometimes will see your post if you post an item from their store, and they'll put a comment on your post and say, can we share this? And they have you reply with a hashtag if you approve it. So if you want to reply with a hashtag to one of the stores, that will count as another hashtag. So I always, at least I usually don't do any more than 29, just in case I need to reply to somebody with a hashtag later on. So that's kind of my little trick there. So yeah, I would say use close to 30. You don't always have to. I would say at least use maybe like 11 to 15 minimum on each post. I would say never use, don't ever choose to use no hashtags. Just really no point in that unless your goal is not to increase your followers. Then that's fine. But if you are trying to increase your followers, like I think we all trying to do here, then definitely, use at least, I'd say 11 to 15 and maybe up until, like I said, 28, 29. So that is my tips for hashtags there. And then one thing you also want to pay attention to is I like to use what I call medium-sized hashtags. So when you actually are typing in the hashtag # and then the word in your caption or in your comment, Instagram will actually show you like how many posts already are using that hashtag. So my rule of thumb, my tip here is to use hashtags that have less than maybe like 1 million posts, and maybe but you don't want to use some that have like 100. So I'd say maybe like about 5,000 for the minimum and 1 million for the maximum. So kind of in between. I like to use ones that have like somewhere in the thousands. Of course, that means maybe like 50,000, 100,000, up into 1 million maybe. Kind of maybe use a variety, some that have less, some that have more. But if you use hashtags that are included on more than 1 million posts, like say they're on like 50 million posts, you're gonna probably not get found. I mean, it's gonna be much harder for people to find your post when there's 50 million other people using that same hashtag. So I kind of, like I said, try to keep it 1 million and under, or 5,000 and up. If you use one that has like 100 posts, then most people, that kind of tells you that people aren't searching for that hashtag. So it's not a popular hashtag. So again, there's really no point in using it. So that's a big tip. You kind of want to use hashtags that have kind of a medium post number out there. And Instagram will tell you, like I said, when you are typing it in, what the number of posts is. So kind of use that as a guide. And so another thing I would say is definitely don't want to always use the exact same hashtags. Like don't copy, out of notes, like your notes function in your phone or something, have a list of hashtags and always copy the same hashtags into your post, because Instagram, I think, considers that kind of spammy, and you might get penalized through Instagram if you keep using the exact same hashtags every post. So you can use some, like there's a hashtag I love that's called discover under 5K, or discover under 2K, or discover under 10K. And what that is like a discover under 10,000 followers, or discover under 2,000 followers. It's for all the different numbers. It's just a general hashtag. It's one of the only general ones I use that will get people to look for you if, it's kind of a community of people that are trying to support each other for accounts that have like smaller amounts of followers. So that's one I kind of do tend to use almost every post, is one of the discover under, a couple of the discover under 5K, 2K, as you'll see here. But besides that, I try to mix it up. And what you want to do is you want to be very specific to your post. So say your post is, you posted a nice picture of you and your dog at the park. And you have no clothes on that came from Target. You don't want to put Target as your hashtag because you're not wearing anything from Target. So you don't want to use hashtags just to get people to find you when it has nothing to do with your post. And you don't want to put like say mountains if your picture has nothing to do with mountains. So really you want to make very specific to your post, so that way when people do find you, they're not going to say, well, this has nothing to do with that hashtag anyway, and they're going to click off right away. So that's another tip I would say, is to use hashtags that are very specific to that specific post that you're posting, so that people that are interested in that are finding you and will hopefully like it and maybe even follow you. So I think those are some great tips. And just again, if Instagram thinks you're spammy or don't use a hashtag that's like follow for follow back, stuff like, hashtags like that, Instagram does not look fondly upon. A lot of people use them. You'll see millions of people are using them, which is another reason not to use them. But that's just really not a good idea. Anyone that's going to follow you to get a follow back is probably not going to engage with you a lot, and is probably not going to be that interested in your content. So probably not a great idea to use hashtags like that. And then I think it's also a great way to support other accounts is by following hashtags. You can follow hashtags and that you're interested in, and you can always follow them or at least like their posts, and it's a good way maybe they'll follow you back or like your post back. So, hashtags are just a great way to find accounts that you're interested in, for people to find you. So definitely use those hashtags, everybody. leave me any questions you have, any comments you have about how you use hashtags, or if you have any other tips about that you know about using hashtags. I would love to hear them personally, because again, we're growing our accounts together. So I always would be interested in hearing what you guys have to say. And if you know anything that I missed, I definitely love to hear it. Just one more quick thing, in your stories, you can use 10 total, so 30 in regular posts and only 10 in stories. And a good tip for your stories is you can always hide them a little bit. So if you want to like hide them under your picture, you know, put them beneath the picture so people don't see them, or you can always make the text, the font really small. That way people don't see it, can't really find it either. So if you don't want people really seeing your hashtags in your stories, there's a lot of good ways to hide them in your stories. Not in your regular posts, but in your stories you can kind of hide them. So you can definitely get away with getting those 10 in your stories without letting everyone know that there's 10 hashtags in there. So that's a good tip for your story hashtags. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I hope these videos are helpful. Like I said, we're going to be doing a series on them. We're going to do a different topic every time. And let me know if you'd like to see anything specific in the comments. If you could hit the like button on the video, that'd be great. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.